I have a significant problem. The new studio I'm in doesn't have any windows, and I've got to airbrush some stuff, and spray paint some stuff. And paint fumes are bad? Today, I want to show you how I airbrush and spray paint when living in an apartment. Welcome, traveler. My name is Blake Rea, and this is Love, Death, and Dice. Like many of you in this capitalist machine, I don't own a house. I live in an apartment, meaning I can't use any air-based paint indoors for my safety and, more importantly, the safety of my deposit. It's not like I can stop painting. My Toon Kings won't allow that. To do away with this problem, I've invested in two things: an airbrush booth and a spray paint booth. The airbrush booth is really neat because it folds up when I'm not using it for easy storage, and when I do need it, I just plop it onto my hobby area and plug it in. This is awesome because now I don't have to move my cameras or lights outside anytime I have to airbrush something for my painting videos. For those that don't know what this is, think of it as an air filtration system. It sucks in any paint particles and fumes in the air and catches most of it in the filter here. Anything that gets past this initial filter is sent out the back and through a tube that is connected to a window. We've already established I don't have a window, plus I don't want to trouble my neighbors with loud sounds and potentially stain the mesh of my window. Landlords will dock you for anything. The easiest workaround is to grab a couple MERV filters with a rating of 7 or more and stack them behind the booth. This will catch anything that slips by the initial filter, even smells. MERV filters also go by the name furnace filters or air conditioner filters. The number rating on the filter just means the size of air particles it's able to catch. If you're in a pinch, 4 will do just fine, but I like to use 7 because it allows me to use finer materials like hairspray, which is great at weathering effects. An extra step I do to protect myself is to wear a respirator, especially when I'm working with oils and enamels, something I do quite often. My final line of defense against dying a horrible paint-related death is an air filter for my room. It's one of those kinds that automatically starts when it notices something in the air. Bonus, this also helps keep dust off your mini cabinet. When to replace these filters is hard to say. Every 3 months, I swap out all of the filters from my studio. Is this overkill? Honestly, I don't know. All I know is that my studio doesn't smell and I don't feel like vomiting anytime I use streaking grime. You can most definitely use this booth to prime with an airbrush, but what about good old spray paint cans? Of which I have a crap ton. I have a solution for that, too. But first, AJ Hart, Lucy Farrell, and of course, Deacon Stott. Your names have been eternally etched onto my hobby painting case, where, bit by bit, your essence will be absorbed and allow me to steal away death
from the Reaper themselves.
Oh, and we're 3 souls closer to painting a Warlord Titan. If you want your name added to my hobby toolkit, or you just want your name shouted out in an episode, consider supporting me on Patreon. To spray paint when living in an apartment, buy yourself a fold-up spray paint booth that can hold the same MERV filters and a 20-inch box fan. Really do some shopping around online or at nearby stores. With a little bit of digging, I was able to get my box fan for $20 when they're normally $40. Once this is fully built, you have a portable paint booth that works much the same way as our indoor one. I still do my spray painting on my balcony or porch so the smell doesn't linger in my apartment. As far as filter replacement, it really depends on how often you spray paint. One really important thing to note: if you are going to use a spray paint booth, always have a fan going. If you don't have airflow sucking away the stray particles, the paint will bounce out of the booth and onto your wet models. This will create a gritty texture that you do not want. Trust me, I found out the hard way on a recent video. Nothing slips by you, Reddit. Both of these booths have their benefits, but you could theoretically just purchase the spray paint booth setup and a respirator to save some money. I just don't know how I feel about the box fan's ability to suck in everything. I would run some tests first. With that, you can move into that swanky new condo without the worry of your mini painting being put on hold. Until next time, subscribe and happy painting.